Welcome to Batman, the Three Jokers, right here at Comicstorian. This is where we take your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand what is going on. Now, all the way back in the Dark Side War, when Batman had the knowledge of the entire universe at his disposal, he asked the name of the Joker, and his response was, which one? As we discovered that there are three Jokers. This was about 4 years ago. And today, we're finally getting the issue which explains everything. Don't forget, if you want to support this industry and keep comic books coming out, go pick this book up yourself at your local comic book store or going to Comicsology. But let's go ahead and begin issue 1 of the Three Jokers. The rain pours down on the manor as the light begins to shine on the graves of Thomas and Martha Wayne. Suddenly, the Batmobile crashes into the tombstones and a bleeding Batman stumbles out. As he heads into the cave, he says, "My parents." Alfred catches them, stating that they can fix the markers as soon as they fix him up. The utility belt is thrown to the ground and the cowl on the table, and Alfred takes out a pair of shears. As the suit is removed to reveal the puncture wound, Alfred asks, "What is it this time?" Alfred begins working on stitching up the cut, and after a few moments of silence, Batman tells him, "An umbrella." But this isn't the first thing that's going to scar Batman's body, and it won't be the last. His back snapping at the hands of Bane, the burn from the Riddler's cane, the claw marks from Catwoman. He's got bite marks from Killer Croc, a stabbing from Scarecrow, and the gunshot wounds from the Joker. There's also acid spray from the Joker. There's a slice from the Joker and a stab in the neck from the Joker. And then he hears it. The laughing, faint at first, but it grows louder and louder and louder. The laughing reminds him of back then, when he got to the theater with his parents. They had just watched The Mask of Zorro and were going home. And the little Bruce was laughing and smiling, but that's when he appeared. The man with the gun. He wanted their money, but Thomas offered his hand. The man shot him and then Martha. The gun fell to little Bruce, but instead of pulling the trigger, the man ran away. Alfred's voice snaps Bruce back to reality. The wound is deeper than the others. It's going to leave another scar. Not that he'd notice. But as Bruce looks, there's another voice coming from the TV. The news anchor is reporting that there has been a horrifying crime committed by the Joker. The Joker killed the last remaining members of the Moxon crime family. An eyewitness identified the killer to be the Joker, seemingly continuing his war or chaos against so-called organized crime. Batman reaches for his cape, thinking to himself, the criminal. Elsewhere, Batgirl gets her running in at the gym when the news reports of the tragic death of the comedian Kalani Apaka. The entertainer was brutally murdered by the Joker and streamed live from the victim's home. Batgirl begins to push herself physically, literally until the machine breaks and she finally goes to take a shower. As the water washes over her, she feels it pass over the scar on her stomach, the spot where she was shot by the Joker. She remembers the moment that he showed up. She remembers asking him why he's doing this, and the Joker smiled, stating, "To prove a point, here's the crime." Batgirl thinks to herself, the comedian. Elsewhere, Red Hood is punching his way through a group of Joker goons as the news plays through his helmet. Security cameras captured the recent Arkham Asylum escapee from Ace Chemical, contradicting previous eyewitness reports. What happened at the chemical factory is still unknown, but the sources are stating that the bodies have been discovered. As Red Hood begins to wrap things up, one of the thugs tackles into him, knocking his helmet off. Like the others, Red too, he has scars on the back of his head where the Joker repeatedly beat him with a crowbar. As the thug pulls out a gun, Red Hood punches the man off and proceeds to take out the remaining two. He reaches for his helmet, thinking, the clown. A short while later, the police arrive at Ace Chemical to look at the bodies that were previously discovered. And Bullock asks, how is this happening? There ain't no way the Joker could have taken out the Moxon family, killed that comic in Somerset, and poisoned these guys all at the exact same time. Gordon looks over his shoulder, telling them, 3 crimes, 3 Jokers. What does that mean? Batman, hopefully you could shed some light on this insanity. Batman walks out of the shadows without saying a word and begins to examine the victims. All have bleached skin and smiles as wide as the Joker's. Batman looks to the men, stating that the fingerprints would have been burned off by the chemicals that had bleached their skin. Those same chemicals will corrupt any DNA testing cone. and the nerve damage to their facial muscles has broken their jaws, making dental records nearly impossible. Bullock asks, "What does all that mean?" And Batman tells him, "Yes, you're probably right." Bullock stares, asking, is everything okay?" Batman goes on, stating, "The 3 men were chosen to represent 3 men who were here that night. He's either trying to leave us a clue, or he's trying to distract us." Gordon asks, "Who the hell are you talking to?" And from up above, a voice calls out, "He's talking to me." Up top, Batgirl sits perched on the railing and she asks if this is where he fell. This is where the Joker was born. Joker made sure to look directly into the cameras he came across. An eyewitness saw him leave the crime, and he streamed the killing of Kalani Apaka. The Joker, or the 3 Jokers, wanted to be seen. But setting that mystery aside, we've got another problem. The vat here is empty, with who knows what. Before they could get any answers, laughing can be heard as one of the presumed men lunges up. "Help me!" As the man is taken into the ambulance, Batman says that they will escort this man to the hospital and then make for the comedian's home. On the road, Batgirl asks, "What do you make of all of this? Is the Joker using stand-ins?" But before she can get an answer, more laughing can be heard from inside of the ambulance. The EMT reaches down, unbuckling the straps, holding the man down, and then grabs a hold of his neck, and he begins to strangle the Joker's victim. We discover that it's Red Hood as he slams the man into the wall, shouting, "What did the Joker say before he bleached your ass?" As the ambulance begins to swerve, Batman starts the auto-drive function of the Batmobile, jumping inside of the truck. He yells, demanding to know what is going on. And Red Hood says, "I'm just getting information." Batman swings, but the Red Hood deflects the hit. Outside, Batgirl switches on the tire shredders on her bike, leaning into the wheels of the ambulance, tearing them to shreds. But meanwhile, elsewhere, deep in the forest, a giant Ace Chemical 18-wheeler speeds down the road, spilling its contents all over the place. It then makes a sharp turn into the woods, and a man pulls up to a house, getting out, stating, "Oh, what a life!" He knocks on the door, and as the door opens, the Clown Joker says that he brought some roadkill home to grill. The Comedian Joker asks, "On a related note, do you need a bike?" Back on the highway, Batman administers the Joker toxin antidote, and Batgirl asks Red Hood what the hell was he thinking. Red Hood tells her that he was getting information before the Joker kills anyone else. Batgirl asks, "By interrogating his victims?" And Red Hood tells her, "Those dead men were homeless guys the Joker picked up before juicing him at the plant. The victim had a rap sheet that included domestic assault against his own kid." Batman then walks up, stating, Red Hood was on the Joker's trail before he came to Ace Chemical, and Batgirl and he were also following the Joker. The Joker is clearly not working alone, which means they have to work together. Meanwhile, back at the cabin, the Clown Joker asks, "Oh, what are we going to do now?" And the third voice chimes in, the voice of the Criminal Joker, who states, "We will do what we always do. We try to make a better Joker." Later at the Gotham Aquarium, the 3 pull up on a lead that Red Hood had based on one of the wrenches used by one of the thugs that he came across earlier. The wrench has traces of seawater on it, and it didn't come from the harbor. As the 3 walk in, Batman looks at the fish, noticing something. All of the fish in the tank appear to be smiling, and then a giant set of teeth appear. A smiling shark. Red Hood says, "Well, that's a new one." And Batgirl asks, "What's the point of stealing all those chemicals and dumping in here? To make smiling sharks?" But a voice calls out, "Oh, it's been such a long time, Batman! I was so looking forward to seeing you when the Joker asked me to come out and play again!" Red Hood looks at the short man and asks, "Okay, who the hell is that?" Batman responds, "Gaggy. The Joker once called him his court jester." Red Hood asks, "And what is he going to do? Trip us?" That's when a gunshot goes off, hitting the glass of the aquarium, and Gaggy yells out, "Get them!" The brawl erupts as Batgirl easily takes out one of the thugs. She says that they don't seem to be the cream of the crop. Without the guns, they're nothing. As Red Hood takes out his thug, Gaggy jumps up, hitting him with a cattle prod, telling him, "Oh, we're going to have so much fun!" Red Hood spins back with his gun firing, hitting the glass behind Gaggy. As the glass begins to crack, Gaggy looks back. "Oh no!" And that's when the shark bursts out, biting down, swallowing Gaggy whole. Toxic fumes begin to fill the room from the fish, and Red Hood says, "Yeah, I'm guessing that wasn't really supposed to be Gaggy's spectacular return. It looks like the clown's special sauce is swirling down the drain. Whatever Joker had planned is over." But Batman stops him. "No, it's not. That fish tank wasn't large enough to hold the entirety of the stolen chemicals. And then a voice calls out, "Right you are, Batman!" The clown Joker leaps out with a fishbowl, throwing them at Batman, and then he spins around, bashing the empty bowl over Red Hood's helmet. As Red Hood falls to the ground, the Joker reaches for the helmet, pulling it off, yelling, "I just wanted to see those eyes again! Those tears! That fear! I can't get enough, Bubba!" But before the Joker could continue, Batman punches him off and Batgirl rushes in, throwing him into a set of glass doors. As the Joker lays on the ground, Batgirl says, "That's him, right?" Red Hood runs up, kicking the Joker in the stomach while Batgirl tries to stop him, and Gordon radios in. Batman tells them that they have captured one of the Jokers, and Gordon tells him, "Good. The GCPD has number 2 cornered and could use your help." Batman tells the others, "Secure this one and wait for Arkham transport. Make sure to do a search. He always has something up his sleeve." So a short while later, as several metal cards fall out of the Joker's sleeve, he sits tied up. Red Hood's just looking him over. He sounds the same, but he looks a little different, maybe thinner? Red Hood picks up one of the cards and a stream of acid shoots out of the Joker's flower onto his chest. Batgirl jumps in, pulling Red Hood out of the way. And Joker bursts out laughing. "That's one of the classics! I am the one, the true Joker, and I can prove it." As the two search the Joker for more traps, the Joker goes on stating, "Take Red Hood here, for example. Have you ever wondered why he uses my old moniker? Who in their right mind would take on the identity of their killer? Am I right?" Red Hood tells him it's because he's owning what happened to him. He made this, and he will be his destruction. As Red Hood tightens his grip on his gun, Batgirl tells him to put it down. Red Hood pulls the gun out, stating, "Nothing is going to change until we break the cycle." And Batgirl asks again for him to put the gun down, with the Joker laughing, stating, "We need to look at fact. I bashed the boy's skull in. I killed this Robin. And then Batman arrested me, just like you're doing now. Brought me to Arkham, and that was that until it wasn't. Maybe I didn't beat him into a bloody mess to kill him. Maybe I took him to the edge because he needed to live. Let's face it, if I had killed the Robin, there'd be no more opportunities to hurt him, and in turn, hurt Batman. Because Batman is all that matters, not anyone else, never anyone else." Joker looks at Red Hood in the eyes and he asks, "Do you remember what you said all those years ago, right when that crowbar was about to break your head in? I will cherish those words. Please, please stop! Let me live! I'll do anything you say! I'll be your Robin." Joker begins to laugh, telling him, "Look at you now, my little Red Hood, shooting up people, making Batman's life miserable. You are my Robin!" Red Hood's hand begins to tremble as his finger pulls the trigger. Batgirl throws a batarang, grazing the gun, but it wasn't enough. Red Hood finishes pulling that trigger and blam! Batgirl stares in shock as the Joker falls off his chair, blood pouring out of his temple. It takes a moment, but Batgirl asks, What did you do? Jason, what the hell did you do?" Red Hood tells her, "I did what had to be done. I ended this. And don't tell me you didn't want this after everything he did to you." Batgirl shouts, "I didn't want any of this!" And Red Hood asks, "Tell me, when was the last time you missed?" Batgirl looks at the batarang sticking out of the wall and the pool of blood forming at her feet. She tries to hold herself back as the tears stream down her face, and she tells him, "Screw you, Jason," and she leaves. Red Hood watches as Batgirl goes and then looks back at the Joker's dead body. Man, I hope I got the right one. And that concludes issue 1 of The Three Jokers. I hope you guys enjoyed this. So many questions and so many things that don't seem to make sense. Like, Batman's not acknowledging that he knew about the Three Jokers from the Morbius share. I know that when this story was announced, they said that it was going to be Black Label so that it could be put into continuity if DC wants it to be, but it could also stand on its own. So maybe that's the point of not referencing where we first heard about the Three Jokers. Either way, the story is finally out. As of right now, my current theory is that they're going to imply that the Joker makes new Jokers, and that's why we have the funny one, the jokey one, and the criminal one. And I think that's what they're going to be implying, but we're going to find out soon. I hope it's more than just Joker makes new Jokers, because it also throws a lot of like problems into Joker's relationship with Batman. Because also think about this, if that is the situation, that would mean that the Joker's gone on for like 60-something years, but Batman stayed the same age, because you'd have to be implying that each of those Jokers was around for a while. Anyway, guys, I have so many ideas. What are your theories as to what's going on in the 3 Jokers? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get more stuff like this. We do it on a daily basis. More comic books read dramatically to you. Cringe or not, you can just enjoy them, or you can just not. It's all entirely up to you. And if you give the video a like, I'll know you want more Batman 3 Jokers, but I think this one's kind of a gimme. I think you guys definitely do want it. Either way, guys, thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you next time right here.